The thing I'm ready for is bed.
Oh, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Watch It Played Live. Hopefully this is working.
My name is Pep McDonald.
And I'm Rodney Smith. If you don't mind, just put something in the comments quickly saying, yes, we can hear you, and everything's working okay. That's always really helpful. And of course, because of that 15-second delay, we won't know for a little while yet.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay on the chat. So
we got a bunch of stuff we're trying to cram into this 1 hour episode, Pep. 1 hour. We're limiting it to
one and a half hour. And I think we'll do fine.
Right. We might push to 1.5 hours. We'll see. And also, as far as answering questions, one thing I did want to mention, Pep had brought this up to me, and I thought it was a good suggestion. We often have some questions in advance that we receive from our guild, but then we also try to take your live questions. We end up going through a lot of these questions and not as many of the live. And you guys are showing up live, so we're going to try to actually put the focus more on your questions, and then we'll have some of these to fill in as well.
Kind of just interrupt in between what we're doing and answer the questions.
And we might start with a couple, but we won't go like the full almost 30 minutes that we sometimes do with these questions before we get to yours. So
they said it's good and no lag.
Yes. Excellent. Super, super, super.
Are there any arms, though?
Oh, he's punchy already. Well, there's a few things I want to quickly go over, kind of newsy items, if you don't mind, Pep, and then maybe we can get into some.
I'll be over here.
Okay. Well, first of all, April 15th and 16th, there's going to be an event with Team Covenant for the Ashes expansion that's going to be coming out. They're going to have early access there. They're going to have some tournament play, some casual play, and I've been invited to join them, so I can't wait for that. So I'll be gone for a couple of days, starting late tomorrow. And I'll be periscoping from there as well. So people do want to see what's going on. The Team Covenant guys will be doing some amazing video, I'm sure. So I'll be doing some more kind of casual, light stuff you guys can check out. As far as guests go, Isaac Vega is going to be there, the lead designer of Ashes.
Of course.
Fernanda Suarez, the lead artist, amazing artist on Ashes. Dave Richards, the graphic designer. Bob Klotz, the lead playtester. Brian Bacon, the community relations manager. And yours truly. So again, if it's something you're interested in, if you're in the Tulsa area you'd like to attend, check the website. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. It should be there right now. And you can go and see if it's something that there's still room to attend. I know that the final spots were selling out. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. I also want to quickly mention Shut Up and Sit Down. I'm sure you've heard of them, but if you haven't, they're a fantastic board gaming content creation website, video cast. They're on Vimeo. They're on Vimeo. What hipsters?
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I thought, Vimeo, what's that?
I know, isn't that bizarre? But a lot of their video content is on Vimeo. They also have a podcast, a great podcast channel as well, which I recommend you checking out. I just wanted to mention them quickly because they also fundraise. Sort of it runs all year round. You can go to their website and donate. And if you weren't aware of that, I like to point out media creators every now and then that I think are worthy of your support and attention. So if you are someone who enjoys their content and maybe wasn't aware that they have the ability to donate to them, then please do check it out. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video as well, which I didn't do already, and I'll do that after this live stream is over if you would like to check that out and donate to them. I think that's the main news I wanted to address, Pep. So anything here in the comments that we need to...
Someone asked if this is monkey beer pong. Essentially.
That's pretty good.
This would probably make for a good drinking game.
Yeah, this is Coconuts by Mayday Games. We usually try to have a game of some sort that we can take a stop every moment and play. And so this is the one we thought we'd bring out. And we'll get started with that in a second. But do you want to talk about these fellows here?
Yes. So a fellow by the name of Mike R. Reached out to me that he was at a con and he saw these dice, these gravity dice that were really cool. And he offered to send me a pair. I didn't realize he was sending you a pair too. And
I would think all dice are gravity dice. They're all like anti-gravity dice would be amazing.
Yeah, you roll them and they just kind of.
Right. Yeah. So what's special about these dice? Because he offered to send you a set of them, right?
Yeah, I told him to kind of surprise me. I told him I liked like gold and black, and he actually sent me gold and black.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Pep loves dice.
I love dice.
He has copious amounts of them.
And yeah, what's cool about these is that they are precision cut, and the way that they're weighted is you won't be able to see. No. But if you look really closely, the pips, the indents on the sixes are, let's say, 1 millimeter deep. Like they're very not deep.
Right.
But if you go all the way over to the one, that one is like 6 millimeters deep. So the idea being that the 1 is cut deeper than the 6s are to weight it out evenly.
Right, exactly.
Because on a normal dice, if you look at these pips,
they're all even.
All these pips are the exact same. So the 6 has less weight to it than the 1 does.
I like mine too because blue's my color of choice in games, and not something I often see in dice, especially customized ones. So I thought these were really slick.
I did a Periscope where I opened the box, and I went to open them. I didn't see mine in there. I only saw yours. So I opened them, and I'm like, oh, you got me blue. These are kind of nice. And he had mentioned gunmetal as an option. I thought those were gunmetal, and I'm colorblind, so I'm like, that might be gunmetal. I don't know. I don't know what color guns are.
You don't know what color anything is.
I don't know what color anything is.
And the case that they come in is pretty nice, and it's magnetized here as well.
Oh, yeah.
It snaps on.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually turned it upside down to test it, but it works.
I did it.
You wouldn't
I did it in the Periscope. I shook it, and the dice went everywhere. I'm like, oh, it holds it pretty well. And I'm like, well, pretty well.
The dice go everywhere anytime Pep gets his hands on them.
That's true.
So, yes, Mike, thanks so much. That was really cool of you to send these along. I wasn't expecting except for myself, so that was really, really neat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm a pretty little princess, so...
Oh, yes, thank you, Nos Everything. We've now said, please say, Pretty Little Princess.
So, he wanted it in the honest trailer voice, though. I'm a pretty little princess.
Very good. We're just here to please. Okay, so those are the gravity dice again. Thanks so much. One other little cool thing I wanted to show was 51st State. This is a game coming from Portal Games. I've already talked about it, I think, on Periscopes or other things.
Who's doing the Watch It Play video for it?
Watch It Play is! It's as big as the title. It's bigger than the title of the game on the side. Maybe this is Watch It Play, a game by 51st State.
Might be.
No, that was really, really great of Portal Games to put our logo on there. It's on the back of the box as well. So I should probably create an instructional video for this.
Probably. I'll be really pushing for you to do this one.
No, I had a chance to check out the rules for this in advance, and I made a commitment to them that I would do the instructional video for it. And I thought, since I got my copy, it might be kind of fun just to show you kind of what comes with it. The game is going to be available at retail. It is currently available as a pre-order. So you can go to the Portal Games website and pre-order it. And if you do pre-order it, you're going to get some extras that don't come in the retail version. Like I think some of the components they're customized or something. So what I'm showing you here is the retail version.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Like in general, not in this particular case, you know.
Oh, you mean like things you can't get?
Yeah, like Kickstarter exclusives, promos that you can only get for pre-ordering games, things like that. Whether it's video games, board games.
I have mixed feelings about it. When I don't get them, it annoys me. When I do get them, I love them.
Yeah.
So it's super fun. No, I don't really have I used to have more of an issue with it, but I've kind of learned to let that go. Like I bought some Cool Mini or Not stuff at retail that didn't have all the Kickstarter stuff. As long as there's enough content in the box to play the game, then there'll always be extra things you could buy for any game, and so I just try to say, okay, it's not that big a deal.
I always prefer if it's aesthetic, like different upgraded components, sure, whatever, because that's okay. But if they're actual new cards that have different effects than other stuff in the game,
it hurts a little more when those aren't there.
It hurts because, and even when they are there, I don't know if I want to use them because are they perfectly balanced for the game? If they are, why weren't they just in the game in the first place? And same in like video games. Like if you buy a pre-order video game and you get this like really cool gun that like shoots faster than everyone else's gun,
Yeah.
But if you get this one custom skin for something, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely prefer the aesthetic things there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That wasn't a question
from
anyone.
It's an interesting topic, and it just certainly comes up a lot. I like even the idea of a time delay. So this is exclusive for a year.
Yes.
Right? So anyone who kickstarts gets it for a year, and then afterwards we as the creators have the option of selling it as a separate package. I think that would be fine too.
Yeah, I like that too.
So they have a little setup sheet. They have a little rule summary here as well. And then they have, of course, rule book. And you know what? I knew that Ignacio was going to try to insert some humor into the rule book, and I was concerned at first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not technically a fan of that.
No.
I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking for the rules, I don't want to have to get through your funny jokes to find the thing I'm looking for. But I was actually quite pleased. First of all, it was pretty funny. It did make me laugh at a number of things. And they were typically, like there's none of that humor in the rule summary.
Oh, yeah, you can't have it in the summary.
Yeah, well, they could have. And I noticed at different points, like when they're giving examples and things, again, very succinct. And a lot of times the humor is like on the last sentence of a paragraph. It's not in the middle of it.
Yeah, so it's like, so first player is blah, 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 you rascally varmints.
Right, it's at the end. So it's not really in the way. And so I thought it actually ended up being, quite good. And maybe a little humor isn't so bad. Like it was kind of funny. They made jokes. I think they made a joke during the setup or something like, right? Yes, put the victory track in the middle of the table in case there's some really dumb dude who can't figure that out for himself. Or here's a good one. Place all resources, workers, and other tokens near the victory point track to form a general supply. Once again, we say this just in case there's a guy who's never played a game before, might put them under the table or under the kitchen sink. Things happen.
So like here's under the kinky sink. Now, that's an interesting question. That kind of leads me to. Will you insert any humor in your video?
No, never.
Because I know you. I know you normally would, but they.
Humor. Yeah, every now and then I'll throw something in.
Yeah,
I used to do more of that in the past, but I'm worried about taking up people's time. So my main objective with the instructional videos is get you in, get you out. We'll try to be funny in our gameplay videos.
That's true. Yeah. But will there be a gameplay?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. I almost did one. I considered doing one for Imperial Settlers. So it's a game I would do. Sometimes the card games are a little trickier because so much is happening up here.
You almost need to follow someone's hand.
Right. It's happening in the hand of cards and in my brain. How do I communicate to the audience without telling you everything I'm planning to do or vice versa? Right?
Definitely a separate camera set up to watch one of the players' hands and little thought bubbles that come up saying what they're thinking about.
Pep hates my time, basically. He's always like, we could do it. You just have to have an extra camera. You put some things on the screen. I'm like, Pep, you just added 7 more hours to the editing.
Like the lift it one. I love you had the second camera the whole time.
Yeah.
That was great.
And it took forever. All right, so this is kind of interesting. There's a little wrap that comes around what I think are the tokens in here. I haven't actually opened my copy yet. This one says, open in case of emergency. So let's open it and see what.
Whoa, emergency.
It's an emergency. I'm actually going to rip this. I'm not even going to try to worry about the... look at this. It's Legacy style unboxing.
You really are ripping it. It had stickers, Rodney.
What? Yeah, it had stickers. Okay, this is a bunch of tokens. The player boards and so on are all in this wrap. I've never seen them do that before, where they wrap up the tokens.
Oh, are these the characters?
Yeah, those are the various factions. 4 come in the game.
Oh, and it's a lot of people would like this. It looks like it's double-sided. So double-sided. Male, female.
Right, exactly. Go ahead and drop it on there.
Oh,
drop it on my hand. What you have in your hand, put on my hand. Put that in here. He's trying to steal tokens. And of course we have.
You don't need that token.
That's a token beef. We also have, of course, a ton of cards in here.
A ton of what?
Cards.
Someone actually just said that.
Did they?
Yeah, it's fun listening to you say card.
So there's 4 packages here. I think 2 of these packages are the expansions because 51st State came out a while ago, and then there was 2 expansions that were released separately. I think those expansions are included here, and so you can mix them in if you want to. And then, of course, there's a bunch of tokens, and these, just to keep things moving, I won't dwell on this for too long, but the tokens are really nice. We've got like the little worker dudes. We've got fuel tanks that look like little fuel tanks. Like the cap is actually not separate, of course, but it's cut out.
These guns are really realistic. I'm surprised they don't have to have a little orange thing on the end.
So people don't get confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, little guns. Yeah, the detailing on this. With a gas tank, it could have just been a square, right? The gun could have been just like a little hook, but there's, got these are bricks, so the bricks are just bricks.
Yeah.
But the gears are, little cutout gears. So anyway,
the bricks are the only ones that look plain, and it's because it's a brick.
It's a brick, yeah.
Good morning, Eric Leith.
Yes, hello, Eric. So yeah, that's a quick look at a spoiler of a game that we're going to be definitely covering at some point in the future here, very soon. Because this game is available already, I believe, across the pond. All right.
Which pond?
The pond that separates our continent from several of the other continents.
Big pond.
It's a big pond, yeah. So, did you see any questions here that we should maybe jump in and answer? Let's scroll.
Let's just do it.
Okay, let's answer a few. Then we'll talk about coconuts. We'll do a couple.
Some guy wants to know if we're married.
Well,
All
right. Stefan, thank you for joining us. Yeah, you want to post your questions here in the chat, not over on the BGG Guild. I will post on the BGG Guild a couple of days before a live show, a spot people can pre-ask questions, but I'm not looking at those now. All right.
Some guy did mention that he beat me at Star Realms finally.
Oh, yes.
I That's awesome.
Small accomplishment.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, some people, I remember there's this one guy, because you rematch me? Done. Like, I will never refuse a rematch, except that one time where someone bought the new expansion and I didn't buy it yet, so I had to refuse. But yeah, I always accept rematches, and I remember this one guy beat me like 10 games in a row.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on here?
Sometimes it happens.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that game can have a little luck element, too, which can hurt you. The Forsaken one, yes, we know some extra walls built up in this apartment would cut down.
Yeah, you want to build me some walls?
Please come on over.
I'm up for that. Oh, I meant you, but anyway.
Oh, me? No thanks. Jarek, thank you for the comment on the Autobot shirt. One of my favorites. All right, let's see.
I'm the lesser known Autobot. Stripe.
Yeah, Dara pointed out that you're already winning 3-0 in this game. That's ridiculous.
Hey, no!
No, you don't get any bonus points. Thank you, Dara. Okay. What do we got here? It looks like
the punching bag with no arms might roll better than Rodney.
It probably would. There is a punching dummy over there. All right. Trying to find questions in here. They're in here. Okay, so
this is the marriage one.
I found a question and then quickly skipped past it accidentally. So I'm really good at this. Here we go. Kakimo would like to know. We would like to know more about Pep. Are you married?
Oh, it's just about me. I am not married. I have no children. I am currently single. I am unemployed for a living as of recently.
Yes.
What other hobbies, interests do you have? I collect swords. I collect dice, which I guess is not another hobby. It's gaming.
It's not his collection of swords that got him kicked out of the job he's in currently, just to be clear.
No.
You're a responsible sword user.
Yeah, I'm a responsible. I've never hurt anyone too much.
Other than yourself, maybe? Have you ever hurt yourself?
Yeah, one time I went to take it out of the sheath and I did manage to cut myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, swords, dice, long walks on the beach.
What are we filling out a dating profile for you here? That's not what this show is about. This is not for your dating life.
But yeah, no, I don't have many other hobbies. I mean, what everyone does: watching TV, walking, running, exercising.
Yeah.
Exercising.
Yeah. What about it?
That reminds me, someone had a question for us.
Oh, you want to jump? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just jumping.
Sure, why not? Good segue.
If
you can find it.
It's here.
You can't find it. All right, I'll find it for you. Okay, Vincent Vignola would like to know.
No.
Do you have time, or do you make time for some regular physical activities? If so, what do you do? So you kind of answered that. You like to take, all joking aside, as long walks on the beach. You do enjoy taking a...
Yeah, I mean, like I went on like a 3-4 hour walk, a 14-kilometer walk the other day. I use a punching guy. I like working out with that. I do a lot of sword spinning and stuff.
Sometimes I'll come in here to upload a video because Pep has the fiber op and I can't get it where I am. He'll have his weight suit on.
Oh yeah, I have a weight suit. It's like a 25-pound weight suit and a couple arm and leg ones.
He'll be in a hot mess sweat here.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z style training.
Yeah. For myself, just recently, I guess I'm on starting the 4th week of 22-minute hardcore. It's one of the P90X, Tony Horton type deals. I did a pretty good job about 4 or 5 years ago, dropping about 35 pounds that extra that I was carrying around on my person. I managed to gain all that back through Watch It Played, which involves a lot of sitting and not a lot of getting active. So that's been a neat little thing I've been doing with Dan King, the Game Boy Geek. He also is doing it at the same time, and actually Luke's been joining me for it.
Yeah, I saw that, and and you have that. I like that pull-up bar you have in your basement.
Yeah, I have a custom little pull-up bar that I built. So yeah, that's been kicking my butt, but I'm really enjoying it. It's just 22 minutes. It's not hard to fit in, and I have definitely noticed a difference. I've dropped 6 pounds since starting it 4 weeks ago or whatever, or 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah, I'm much more casual with my workouts. I just do it whenever. And sometimes when I was going to the gym, I was very consistent. I would do it, like every day, every second day. But as soon as I stopped, it kind of like dwindled off, and I'd work out like every couple days. So I'm not consistent.
I haven't made a point of talking about the exercise program and stuff on the channel or Twitter because I think people who do that can get kind of carried away with it.
Yeah.
Constantly talking about it all the time. I'll tell you something who did a really great job. Keith Collins, Magic Malfunction, a longtime viewer and good friend of mine. He won a shirt, Imperial Settlers shirt at a convention, and it was like a medium or something, or a large or something, and he couldn't fit into it. He made that his motivation. He's dropped something like 80 pounds. I hope I'm not overstating that. Somewhere between 60 and 80 pounds was dropped.
Yeah.
A phenomenal feat of willpower and discipline. So
yeah, at one point I was a little bit bigger, and I actually like when you lose weight and the feeling of having to buy a new wardrobe. It's actually awesome.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful because it costs you a lot of money, but it's a nice feeling.
Cinching your belt a little tighter is nice. Okay, so there's our health moment for you. Connor Wisemandel. I'm not going to be able to stay. I'm going to ask my question now. Hope it gets answered. How do you find a gaming group? Connor wants to know, how do you find a gaming group? There's not really a magic answer to this necessarily, but there are a couple of things you can do.
Try.
You try, right. Leave your house.
Do or do not. There is no try. Just do it.
Slightly more practical advice might be to look up Meetup. Meetup.com has a lot of game groups that get posted there. Depending on where you live, like we live in a smaller location. I went on Meetup and I couldn't find any game groups there. But
I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, it's a place that different organizations will post, hey, we meet up at this time weekly, and here's the sort of thing that you can come join or do. You can go on Board Game Geek. They have forums for each of the different, I believe, states in the U.S. and provinces in Canada and other countries as well. So you could hopefully get lucky and say, I live in this city. Does anyone live near me? That's another practical thing you could do. Ultimately, you could just start one yourself and post notices around your community, seeing if anyone would want to join you. I don't know.
The age group is important too. If you are, if you're in the tail end of high school or in college or something like that, honestly, just post up posters, like talk to people, spread it around, because it can start off small and it can start off big. The first time, like when you talked to me and wanted to set up a game group, the first one we had set up, like 20 people showed up, and I had neither of us had any idea it would be that big, and it was in my old apartment, which
tiny.
It exactly fit 20 people, barely.
I think the guy was sitting on my lap. But yeah, there's not a magic answer to it. Those are a couple of resources, and you may be stuck trying to find one yourself. Also, people play games online, like through some of the different board gaming websites as well, and that might be an option.
I think an important thing to think of too is people come and go and don't take it too much to heart. Like not everyone is going to like the way that everyone games. So, if you have 10 people and then the next day you have 8 and the next time you have 6, don't worry. More people will come. And
sometimes that thinning out is not a bad thing.
No, if someone's there that isn't interested, then it's better if they're not there. Right. Why have a bored person sitting around all night?
Why have a bored person at a board game?
Yeah, that's not the kind of bored we're interested in.
That's right. So Pete Sherry wants to know, I would like to know how Pep can concentrate having to see Rodney's chin of Adonis all day long. He must have the concentration of it.
It is distracting. And I'm not even joking. I keep telling him he looks like the Punisher. And it's funny, I was going to mention this to you. Even the new guy, Joe Bernthal. Yeah. You actually look kind of like him too. I don't know what it is, but every time they select someone for the Punisher, it looks like you. You could be the next Punisher.
Just my chin could be.
Yeah. He's got to wear a mask. You could be Batman.
Oh yeah, I've been talking about the humor. Hayden here was mentioning about the Seven Wonders video with the stolen money. I had goofed with the money, and so in the intro I was explaining that, and without telling people, without drawing attention to it, every few seconds when I would do a jump cut, there would just be more money on the table, and the pile just kept growing. It'd be Monopoly money. It'd be like it was beyond the Seven Wonders money, and that was a fun little gag to do. I don't do as many of those for the instructional stuff, but okay. Yes, Todd comments on the enjoyment he receives out of me saying card. Does Pep say card funny? Is it just me?
Let me test it. So I went and I've been sorting my cards lately.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really like cards.
What card do you like the best?
Definitely Magic cards. Oh, what card? For Magic, it is Dark Steel Pendant?
Relic.
Dark Steel Relic, thank you.
Even I remember you love that.
Yeah, I have hundreds of them.
Yeah.
I actually have a sealed plastic package of 100 of those Dark Steel Relic cards.
Cards are fun.
And for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's Crab Turtle card.
There's actually cards in this game. I don't see them here. Did you leave them in the box?
I did, because I never used them.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No, yeah.
All right, so there's a card sample. You can let us know if Pep also has the card. The Canadian card. Let's see.
I say resource is funny, though.
If you have a Z in there, it's a little...
Resources.
Resources? Yeah, I sometimes do that, too.
Yeah.
I have to be a little careful of it.
An onion.
All right. Let's see what else we got here.
You can pause the video.
Okay, so Mitchell's asking a question. If you could experience any board game as someone else experiences it, Which game would you play and as who?
That's an interesting question. The reason that they're asking,
getting my head wrapped around that question.
Have you ever watched me, for example, play a game and just see the enjoyment that I have and be like, I don't understand that?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen someone's enjoyment and just been like, I wish I could feel the way they feel for that? Like, remember me with Talk Woodman? Like, I sat there for 6 hours at Gen Con where I could play anything, and I sat there playing Talk Woodman.
Yeah, I mean, to experience that kind of euphoria, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were just beside yourself with enjoyment. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think people should want to be me when I play Kemet because of the enjoyment I get of that. Spoiler, I guess I like Kemet.
People don't know that by now. They aren't paying attention.
Right. I can't think of anyone else in particular. I think your Talk Woodman was a great example. But I think what's interesting about that question is, sometimes you can be sitting at a table and somebody else is having so much fun and you're not. And it would be interesting to know what they're experiencing from their perspective.
I think Robert from our game group here, I would love to be inside Robert's head. Especially because he hates Seven Wonders. I'm like, I almost want to be part of him while he's playing Seven Wonders and be like, what is it you hate about this?
And he's so excitable. He's so much enthusiasm about things, and his reactions are usually so explosive that it'd be kind of fun to sort of experience a game that way for him. Interesting question. All right, let's see here.
Maybe Will Wheaton, so I could be inside his body.
Where is that? I see. That was the question. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're going to play some Pong here in a moment. Don't worry.
Dara wants to know if I have a favorite board game about cooking.
And do you?
I feel bad because I asked her that question, and I don't think there are any board games.
Have you played Sushi Go?
Oh, I did play Sushi Go.
There you go.
Perfect.
And hey, we don't answer favorite questions on here, Dara. You know better.
Oh yeah, whoops.
That's okay. That was the only one you've ever played.
But that's specific. That's super specific. If someone asks, "What's your favorite game about X?" and there's only like 2 games about X,
as long as there's only one of them, then we'll answer that. Let's see here.
Actually, I think a good pattern would be you look at questions while I look at the other questions.
Patricio Garcia asks, how do you choose what games to do instructional videos on? And Super Wolfkin responds, there's a complicated rubric of what they like the game, it's easy instructional video, and the company wants to pay them. Yeah, I've answered this question a number of different times. I realize I just need to create a 4th part. I think I've done 4 parts actually already of Watch It Played FAQ videos where I answer some of these common questions. I'm going to do that again, and I'll answer that question because I'm sure people who have seen me answer this before are tired of hearing it. But basically, in short, I have to like the game. If I don't like it, I'm not going to spend 15, 20 plus hours creating videos for it and then answering questions about it for 5+ years. I have to like the game. Even though I don't review, I have to like the game. I don't love it, I have to like something about it. It has to be a game that I think would work well on video. Like, there are games maybe I like, but I also go, this is too simple, so I can't really even see the merit of doing.
Like maybe Coconuts might be too simple.
Maybe Coconuts. Sometimes if a game is so dynamically interesting to look at, though, I might go, I want to feature this so that people are aware it even exists. Sometimes things like that will. So again, the rubric is not like in cement, but you're right. Something like that was really simple. I might avoid. And then Jenga I probably wouldn't do because it's so common. Everyone knows about it. Yeah. I don't need to do that.
I'll stop and rank.
Thank you. And because this is supposed to be short. And then third, yes, I want to work with publishers who want to work with us. So of all the games that I could potentially cover, I'm only going to be able to cover about 30 a year. So I want to find publishers that would be interested in being on our channel, paying a nominal fee because they recognize the value in what we're creating and want to support that. So I ask you guys every year to support us. So I don't see why the publishers can't support a little bit as well.
That leads into one of the questions from BGG.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know, Talal S. wants to know if a viewer can request a how to play video and pay for your time.
Oh, right. No. Yes. I don't know how to answer that. Honestly, I've never considered it. Again, it would have to follow those
criteria.
Rubrics. Like, it would have to be a game I wanted to feature, and maybe I had like an open slot, and I was like, well, I don't know what to feature. If someone came along and said, look, I'd really love this, and I'd be happy to support the channel in this way, I guess I would consider it. But honestly, I have no trouble filling my time. The schedule is crammed to the max already for the next several months. So it's unlikely I would see that happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly. Because again, it's not so much that I want to work with you as an individual. I need to work with the company so I can make sure we got the rules exactly right. I need someone on staff there that I can contact and get a turnaround and say, this is exactly how to play it. Or to say, oh, we have some errata that's coming out that no one knows about. Yes, you can build this into your video. Like all that stuff.
And that comes up surprisingly more than you might think.
Yeah, it definitely does. So Todd wants to know, Pep, have you played Colony Wars yet? Are you excited about the fantasy version coming out soon, Hero Realms or whatever?
I haven't actually heard of Colony Wars.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, so no, I haven't played it. I'm not excited about the other. I haven't heard of it, but
oh, and Hero Realms, do you know what that is?
No.
That's the new version of Star Realms in a fantasy setting with campaign play.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know a lot about
it. I thought Epic was supposed to be the fantasy version of.
Well, Epic is kind of that like small box, like the format of the product is similar, but the games are kind of different.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And this fantasy or Hero Realms, I think, is a similar play style as Star Realms.
Okay.
But it has some new things in it.
Yeah, I'll check that out. That sounds interesting.
I honestly don't do as much checking out games around the corner anymore as I used to. Like if a company says, hey, we got a new game coming out 6 months down the road, I'll look into it when it's a little closer to coming out, unless it really grabs my attention, because there's a million games trying to grab my attention.
Yeah, I'm a little guilty of following the buzz. You know, if a bunch of people are talking about something, I'd be like, oh, what's this?
Well, that's a good thing. I like having someone near me who can say, hey, there's a lot of buzz on this. That can be helpful.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Warsu asks, hello. Hi, Pep. Do you have your own channel? If so, what is it called?
I don't want to admit to the real answer to this. I'm gonna say if people want to dig, you might find it, and please don't show anyone else if you do. I do just have a board, Pep, but it's empty. It's basically there so I can comment on Rodney's video.
Right. Eric Robinson, age appropriate, asks, what's your handle on Star Realms?
Board Pep and Rodney Smith.
Rodney Smith. I don't have the app installed currently. I'm not playing it.
Oh, that's why you didn't. I invited you to a game, and that's why.
Oh, really? Yeah,
okay.
I've had it uninstalled for a while.
That's fine.
I did play a ton of it, but eventually I burn out of playing the games on the app.
I'll never burn out.
No, Pep will never burn out.
So board Pep, do it.
Who can do more push-ups between the two of you?
Oh, push-ups. I know I can do more chin-ups.
Yeah, you can definitely do more chin-ups. I don't know, and I would say we could test it right now, but that would be terrible video because we'd have to leave this.
Yeah, we have to leave and come back.
We can maybe try after the video, and we'll post in the comments afterwards. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Pep. Super Wolfkin would like to know what instructional took the longest to make, and why did it take so long? Well, this is interesting because the Galleries, which we just did recently, a lot of people have commented, wow, this is complex, it must have taken you forever to do, and so on. It definitely was one of the more involved ones, no question about that.
There's a couple other ones from the past, though.
Yeah, but like the rulebook for that game was really well done. It's got a lot of moving parts. I really think the video is helpful because it will show you, with the visual examples at the same time. So I think that will be a good tool for people. But it wasn't hard for me to learn how to play it, and that's a big part of the puzzle.
Yeah, we kind of learned that game. Well, no, I guess you had learned it ahead of time, but then whenever we went to play it, we kind of learned it together on the fly, and it wasn't. I didn't have any difficulty picking it up.
No, there's little things that are tricky, that can be tricky to remember, and we certainly ran into that in our most recent gameplay video that we shot. That will be uploaded probably tomorrow. There are a couple of rules mistakes in there that weren't crucial to the gameplay. We make little pop-ups about it, but they're little things that you forget, right?
Yeah, it is a bit hard to remember, especially in the solo version where you have to kind of remember what the computer guys do.
You don't have another player there who's like working against you to keep you in line.
Yeah, we both want the other guy to fail. So
so we forget what he does. I would say one of the most complicated ones was definitely Stronghold 2nd Edition, because there were so many issues with the rulebook, so many mistakes, things that were forgotten about. That have been cleaned up since then. They have a new updated version of the rulebook, and they have an FAQ that does a nice job of modifying or correcting those mistakes. Kiwi's being very chatty.
Yeah.
If you guys can hear chirping, that's Kiwi. So that was difficult, but I worked hand in hand with Portal and was able to, I had 3 pages worth of questions. They were able to answer all of them, and we worked all those into the instructional video. So I think that made the instructional video even more valuable, because people buying the game with this rulebook that was kind of terrible, we're now able to watch a video that was very comprehensive, right? And so Portal's been a great partner to work with, and they're great guys, first of all, to work with, guys and girls over there, but that was certainly one of the most difficult ones. Descent 2nd Edition was another one that was very complicated. It was longer than the Gallerist in terms of the instructional video, because I actually broke up the rules and the setup separately. So if you put those together, it's a longer video than the Gallerist. Let me see here. Todd asks, Rodney, is there any older games that you enjoy and would get featured on Watch It Played? I love Manila. That'd be a great one for a playthrough. Older games. Well, we did Seasons is not an older game, but it's older in the context of the cult of the new today, for sure. And that's when I did, but that was when I had committed to doing and finally got around to doing it several years later.
After a bit of jostling.
Yeah, but I would definitely do older games. I'm not just about the cult of the new. It just happens I'm a bit of a cult of the new gamer. So that tends to be where my interest lies. I like discovering the new game, and then when I discover that game, it tends to get me excited. Like, I want to feature this. This is cool or whatever.
Yeah, and we've talked about the idea of some older games that could do for a video.
Yeah, we've even said Settlers of Catan. Some of the most viewed videos that we've done have been videos like Small World, Seven Wonders. And it's not just because they've been there the longest. It's because those are games people still today continue to buy, get them for Christmas, open the box and go, what? There's more than one page of rules. What do I do here? And so Google how to play.
Settlers of Catan, actually, from my memory of the rules, isn't a super comprehensive rule book. It's a little bit hard to maneuver through.
The version I have has kind of the rules and then some weird almanac. It was kind of like the first Fantasy Flight games where they split the rule book into two, and I remember just kind of this is not great.
But they re-released it in so many different ways now. I'm not sure what the newest rule book looks like.
So to your question, doing older things is not something I'm against. It's just my time is so consumed with the games that we are shooting that tend to be new that I don't often think, oh boy, we should go back and do that older.
If I had to pick an old game, I would pick Axis and Allies. I would love, especially the newest version of it. Yeah. I would love to do an Axis and Allies video.
Never played Axis and Allies.
I gotta get you into it. You made me play Twilight Struggle. I think I got to make you play Axis and Allies.
We'll see. Let's see here. Zenitos Volkova asked, what are your favorite games that you wouldn't feature on the show? I can't tell you that because I avoid really talking about favorite games. I feel like discussing favorites is kind of like a tacit review. It's kind of an endorsement of the game, and I just try to avoid doing that.
I always try to think if I can reword a question so that I can get you to answer anyway. But are there any games that you just wouldn't put on the show regardless of whether you like them or not? You don't have to say that you did like them.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because there's certain games I like that I would go, this just wouldn't be a good fit. Yeah. I don't think it would display well or whatever. I can't imagine what that would be off the top of my head, honestly.
Yeah.
Jenga, I guess I wouldn't say I particularly like Jenga, but that would sort of be a game where I'd go, okay, this is too light. There'd be no point in creating an instruction video for it.
You take a block from the bottom and you put it on top.
Done.
Take a block from the middle.
If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. All right. Let's see. We'll answer one more question here, then we'll talk about coconuts, and then we'll get back to some questions. Let's see. So Pete Shuri is talking about the Kuminara Expo, saying that the gauntlet's been thrown down, that we do Star Wars Rebellion 4-player.
Ooh.
Star Wars Rebellion has been the bane of my Twitter.
Oh yeah, existence. I keep hearing you're going to make a video for that.
Right, which is not true. Marty from Rolling Dice and Taking Names was threatening that he would tell everyone I was going to do it. Joel Eddy from Drive Thru Review said, if you say that he's going to do it, I'll confirm that he's going to do it. And then Marty started posting on Twitter. Joel confirmed it. Marty took my logo, he crayoned it, stuck it on the side of the box, and said, coming soon. I did like that too. That did make me chuckle.
And whenever he did the canopy video, it
still had it on there. And the goofy thing is, I told him, you have to be careful, Marty, because if you do this, other people are going to say it, and then they're going to spread it, and then it'll get out of control. And sure enough, other people started posting, independent of his thread, just, hey, Rodney's going to be doing it. It's not that I wouldn't want to do it. I don't even have a copy of the game. And my schedule is so jam full, there's just no room to jam that game in. I still need to do Forbidden Stars, and I'm having trouble fitting that in the schedule. So, but I would like to play the game, so we'll see, Pete. All right, moving down. Let's take a quick pause. Let's talk about coconuts.
Yeah, let's just
play a couple of turns of coconuts.
Yeah. I thought you probably play the whole game.
I can't just jump in. I have to talk a little bit about it.
Oh, yeah.
This is a game from...
Yeah, teach us how to play.
From Mayday Games. Sorry, Mayday Games. And very simply, you have a coconut monkey dude. His arms are on a spring, like this. And you have several little coconuts, which are often mistaken for other things, like feces or food.
A lot of people touch these. You shouldn't put them in your mouth.
You really shouldn't put them in your mouth. And they'll end up on the floor, catching all kinds of things. The object of the game is to flick a little coconut in the air and have your coconut land in a basket. If it does, as mine just did, you put it on one of the 3 spaces here on the bottom of your mat. I'll just show you the player mat here. The player mat acts as a little storage area, and it has a little line to say, hey, your monkey should be on the other side of this line. So I'm going to put my cup here, and now it's Pep's turn. Oh, it jumped in, and it jumped out. If it jumps out, that's no basket. All right, so here we go.
That's no basket.
That's no basket. Oh, I also jumped in and out. Okay, and there he is. That's the basket. Now you notice, hopefully, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there are some red baskets as well. Not one of them's been uncovered. If you sink a red basket, which I was trying to do and failed, then you get to go again. That's a double. The object of the game is to be the first to collect six. Yeah,
Six.
you create a little pyramid.
That counts.
That was a monkey misfire right there. Oh. Wow, my flicks are really weak here. Okay. Oh, that one missed and hopped in the basket.
It did.
Nice, okay. Oh, I should also mention you can steal the other person's cups. If you land inside one of theirs, then you take it. Oh, man, I'm doing terrible. I was off to a good start, and now I'm just flailing here.
I have to admit, doing this sideways
is weird, isn't it?
A little weird.
Come on, I was in your basket. I was out of your basket again. Come on, little monkey man. Oh. Let's do this. Let's work together. Teamwork. No bananas for you. Oh, there we go. I got my second basket. So once you get to the fourth, you start stacking them up like this. It's possible.
Gotcha.
So Pep just needs one more basket here to win.
Oh,
I'm taking back the basket. Woo.
So yes, I got a red one.
Oh no.
Which means that I get to go again immediately.
If you run out of little coconuts, you grab them from around the play area, and Pep won.
Now, I know you say I won, but Pep has a custom way I always play.
Yes.
Because this game can be a little swingy, so I always say that the other players get one round.
Swingy?
They get one round to try to take one of my baskets.
Right, so if I get one of these baskets, then I'm back in the game. Oh, so close!
So that's it.
So if you go back and forth, and let's say someone hadn't won, and all the coconuts end up in various baskets. You could even flick a coconut inside of a basket that is already yours. You could accidentally do that. Then it ends in a draw, and whoever has the most coconuts in their collective cups wins. Because the game will end as soon as there's no more coconuts, and then whoever has the most.
Yes, and it's important to note too that you don't remove the coconuts from the basket.
Right.
That's something that people. First time I play with people, they score.
Oh, there's coconuts. I've never grabbed them, so they just
as soon as they do it, they take the coconuts. Like, actually, sorry, that's for scoring. And they're like, oh. Okay.
We will have to have a rematch. Not now, but a little later.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not happy with how that went.
All right, you clean up. I'll do another question off of the BGG
Okay, you do a question. I'm cleaning up?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you lost.
That's a good point.
John Gallant wants to know, how many times has Rodney messed up a rule while teaching a game night?
Never. It's never happened. Never will happen.
I think it has, but
It has.
I think an important thing, too, is that it's not necessarily always messing up, but sometimes you'll mention something, but I don't think you'll put as much emphasis as I would need, for example.
Right.
So I don't see it as you need to pay attention to this rule as much as just one ended up on the floor.
Yeah, I see it over there.
As just something that this is kind of a passing thing.
I definitely have forgotten things. Certainly one thing I have noticed as a rules teacher, I'm sure a lot of you have taught rules, I'm sure you've done it too, is you'll say something, maybe you'll say it 3 times, and then still someone won't hear it or they won't absorb it.
Oh, yeah.
Or the main thing is they don't have a context for it yet. They haven't played. So it's like separating the important information from the stuff I can just kind of casually pay attention to is hard to do when you don't know the game at all, and that often happens.
Yeah, especially when you're using the game terminology for things and not maybe the physical terminology. Mm-hmm. You say, oh, when you take a worker, this happens. And then, I take one of the meeples and it's like, oh, that's a worker, this happens. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't
make the connection, right?
I didn't make that connection.
So it happens. My big thing is if you are learning a game from someone who's taken the time to teach you and they seem to have done a mostly competent job of it, then if there is something that you think they forgot, shut up. Just keep it to yourself. Now you know for the next time you play. You don't need to rub it in their face that, oh, you didn't tell me this, and now my whole strategy's ruined.
That leads right into another question. You're really good at that.
Thank you.
Julian Grenier asks, how would you react if somebody was teaching you a game that's new to you, but your gut feeling tells you that they're messing up the rules?
Yeah, this is a tricky one, because given what I just said, because I really do...
Shut up
already. No, I don't mean to be mean about it, but I do kind of get whatever rage you're feeling inside of you that, oh, this person didn't tell me the rule. That person's also feeling inside of them. Why weren't you paying attention? When you were on your phone when I was teaching you, that's when you didn't hear or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But also, it's the spirit of the thing is we're having fun. No one's trying to make you lose. No one's trying to not tell you rules to make you forget or to give you a disadvantage. don't make the first game so important. Now you know for the second game. But if you think that you're being taught poorly or something's been forgotten.
I've literally had that happen to me where someone was teaching a game and they said something, and I just thought to myself, no.
I've been at the other table and heard that happen. Like I've heard you go, this doesn't sound like, really?
Yeah, it's like that. And, part of me just wants to say, okay, let's finish playing the game, and sometimes I will.
Right.
If it seems minor, but when it's a really major thing, it just kind of, it breaks me. It's like, could I look at the rule book while you're explaining? Like, I just want to look it up.
And I think it makes sense up to a point, right? Because if it's something where, no, this seems like it goes against the spirit of the game. Like, if what you're saying is true, then 4 of these cards in my hand don't work. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, if that's the way this works. And oftentimes, I shouldn't say oftentimes, but there'll certainly be cases where someone is just trying to give you a quick answer so they can get back to playing the game. They don't really know. They haven't really thought about your question.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They just quickly,
Yeah, you've done that to me a lot. And like, not to pick on you, but I've asked you a question. You gave me an answer where it feels like you're trying to answer something that I'm not even asking, because it's like you're trying to deduce where I'm asking it. And it's like, no, I actually just want to know the answer to the question. Please just answer my question.
Yeah, we'll get caught in this thing where I'm like, I'm trying to figure out your motivation for asking, so I can figure out how to answer the question. But you just want to know. But I'm like, I don't know how to answer this because I don't know where you're coming from with it. Yeah. Because in a different context, the answer could be different. So we just get in this trapped in this little loop of, I just want to know, and I just want to know why you want to know, so I know how to answer. And
yeah, but it's fun.
But how do you do this? What's the right way? I don't think it's wrong to ask to look at the rule book. I think you shouldn't
be polite.
Yeah, but I think you shouldn't do it in the middle of a rules explanation.
Yeah.
Maybe no.
Oh, sometimes like that's the thing is once the rules explained, if they just kind of carry on, it's a little weird to imagine the rest of the rules knowing that rule. And if you suddenly had to wait until the end and then go back and be like, oh, actually this one thing is wrong. Pretend you don't know that one thing, but reapply it to everything else I taught you. Yeah. It can be difficult.
Yeah, I have waited till like after they've finished explaining, and then I'll pipe in with, actually, there's something interesting. There's a rule here. I didn't notice this the first time I read. I'll try to like soften the blow and just,
say it. It came from an FAQ or like this. Oh, I remember reading an FAQ about this. Actually, it doesn't work quite that way because that's always, especially when you say that line. I thought it that way the first time I read it too. Because especially if you're being honest, like that's a much easier way to take it.
Yeah, because it's very easy to get defensive.
Oh,
Are you saying I'm dummy? Like that I don't understand?
Like I played this game a dozen times. It's like, well, I think you played it wrong a dozen times.
Yeah,
I'm
how
sorry.
many times does that happen? I see it in the comments all the time in the videos we create. Someone will watch a video and go, oh my gosh, we played this game a bunch. We didn't realize
we've done that.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I remember the one that comes to mind is the flips, not city, the city pew pew with we did a gameplay. Wow.
Right.
Yeah, and we thought that you could only do it with the 2 and the 3, but you could do it anyway.
Right. Oh, you're thinking Quadropolis.
Quadropolis, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
We had the instructional video, right, by the way. But
but our first game
playing, it was like, oh,
first gameplay was like, huh.
Okay, so great segue there. Let's see what we've got here next. So you're saying the get a watch or play micro badge link isn't working? I'll have to double check. Sometimes the links, when I copy paste them, they work. Sometimes I copy paste them, they don't work. But I have to copy paste. If I had to type it every time, it would drive me nuts. I'll have to double check that one. So sorry about that. Todd, we'd love to say hello to your daughter.
Hi, Dele.
Leah?
Delia? Oh.
Maybe?
Delea?
It's tricky because Lay and Leah can be spelled that way. Either way, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining your dad with this. I hope you are playing games with him and beating him constantly.
Get well soon.
Yeah, sorry to hear you're sick. Zentos Volkova asks, when do you get your copy of the new Dead of Winter? The new one that's coming in. It's a standalone expansion, so you can play it without having the original box, but it also introduces some new things as well. Are you going to do another series on it? Not likely, because typically I don't do expansions because, there's just so many new games I want to feature. So if I was to do every expansion, that's even more new games I'm not getting to. And although this is new-ish, there'll be a lot of things that are similar. I might do an overview where I talk about the differences. That's where I think I can add the most value, and I've done that sometimes with games.
I like the idea of a standalone expansion.
Me too.
Because it just shows a lot of work was put in by the company to completely make a new game. A video game comes to mind, the original Guild Wars. Every time they made an expansion, it was literally a whole new game.
Right.
And you could experience the full thing, and some things from the games kind of crossed over, but not much.
Right.
And I really like that way of doing it. It shows a genuine effort. It's not just here's 10 new cards. It's here's a whole game for you.
I think it's nice too because it does pass the cost savings on a little bit to the consumer, because if I'm buying an expansion and still have to buy the base game, maybe I get excited about the game when I heard about the expansion. Maybe the base game didn't thrill me, but I heard so many good things about the expansion. Well, now I have to buy the expansion, and I have to track down, hopefully it's still in print, the base game.
Yeah.
So now it's like, no, you can just buy this and you're all set. And if you'd like to, you can later on go and buy the original game to add and mix that in. So
yeah, and the average gamer who really likes the game would probably do that anyway. You'd probably want both. So that's good.
JJ asks, did you look at the miniature market sale last week, and if so, did you jump on anything? No, because miniature market's in the States and we're in Canada, so there's not really any savings for us because the dollar is so tough right now.
Yeah, it's difficult. I keep wanting to buy little things, and the shipping. Sometimes they're good on the shipping.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember looking up Magic cards, and sometimes you go to ship, and it's like, oh, $15 shipping.
Basically, Americans, you should just be buying. It's always a sale in Canada for you guys. You should be ordering all your games from Canadians. Because,
really?
Right? Because of the exchange rate, you're getting crazy.
I never even thought about that.
And the shipping usually isn't that terrible either. Doug Welder, Pep, thoughts on Android Netrunner? Yes, it's a game with cards.
Yes,
moving on.
We're not really supposed to answer whether we like something or not, unfortunately.
Pep, you've played it before though.
Yeah, I didn't play it much. No, I played it once with you, and I played it, or maybe twice with you, and I played it once with someone else.
That's a factual thing. He played it once.
Something I do want to say. I love the theme because I love Shadowrun, like the world of Shadowrun, and it actually feels like Android Netrunner should be sued by whoever wrote Shadowrun, because it's like copy-paste of most of the theme, but that's also kind of just the cyberpunk theme in general, I suppose. Yeah. But like everything like corporations and but I love the theme. So you get that out of me.
Hayden, I don't think there's any expansions I can think of right now that I consider featuring in a full gameplay episode. Again, because I just typically tend to avoid expansions. It's not a knock against expansions. The only way I could see myself doing it might be if we were to go back and do a game we've done a base game for and just wanted to do a live play, we might throw an expansion in there.
And kind of explain it ahead of time.
As we go, or ahead of time,
Simon, this kind of reminds me. Simon Gavin asks, why don't you always explain the solo variant in the show?
Yeah, why don't I always do that? Oftentimes, solos, variants, maybe odd player counts have some special rules, and I won't do them. Generally, I'm trying to keep the instructional videos as short as humanly possible, and oftentimes, although this may not be true, not everyone might agree with me here, I don't think those variants are as popular as the base rules. So my feeling is if you have a particular interest in the solo rules, then after you've watched the main video, we're talking you have 1 page of rules to read. So I don't mind passing that particular obligation on to you, because the rules PDFs are almost always like 99% available for free online. So if you're really curious about the solo rules, just check that 1, 2 or 3 paragraphs or page in the rulebook, and off you go. Yeah,
and the extra rules for the solo or the expert versions of the game or anything like that, they're usually a little enough amount of information that once you've got the basic game down, they're not going to introduce anything that's going to make you really confused.
Hopefully not, assuming that those portions of the rules are well and clearly explained, which sometimes they aren't, admittedly, but it's mainly, I like that if we can keep our instructional videos to around the 20-minute mark or 15, the shorter it is, I think the more likely someone's going to check it out and stick through the whole thing, and that's kind of important to me. I want people to watch the videos that we create.
Agricola.
Horster II or 11. Would you perhaps do an Agricola playthrough, maybe also in the solo variant? I've never played Agricola, so
all creatures big and small. Brig and small.
That's the pirate version.
Throw them in the brig. Throw in the brig.
I've never played Agricola. I have played Caverna. I have Caverna. I would consider doing Caverna, but I would consider doing thousands of games. So that's, I don't have any plans currently to feature Caverna.
And I would consider All Creatures Big and Small.
Oh yeah, I would definitely consider that one as well. Yeah. Certainly the size of it makes it an easier one to do.
Yeah. Smart man once said Kemet sucks.
I wasn't going to read that.
Thanks, Todd.
Barry Reynolds writes, Morning, Canadians. If you could play a game with anyone, fictional or real, alive or dead, who would it be and what game would you play? These questions always stump me because I feel like there's probably a really smart, clever answer out there, and I will not think of it in the time frame that would be reasonable to answer this question.
I like the idea of geniuses, and I want to know, like people, I think Albert Einstein himself said something about, hey, that everybody is a genius in their own way, and they just haven't found what it is that they are a genius at.
Right.
And it makes me think, I would love to sit there with someone like Albert Einstein and be like, hey, let's play, Settlers of Catan. Let's play, I'm trying to think of a heavier game. Help me here.
Caverna?
Let's play Caverna. Yeah. And just watch his brain burning and see, does he pick up on these things, or is he actually not?
Aquasphere.
Or is he not actually intelligent in that way? And I would love to see that kind of thing.
Well, because it's interesting. I've played games with people I think are incredibly intelligent, very studied, and they are totally lost in a board game.
Definitely.
Totally lost. What I would consider, what I'm sure many of us would consider the most basic mechanics in board games. They're like, wait, how does this work again? I don't really... And you're repeating it multiple... Like engineer friends of mine that I've played with, and they do very complicated things in their daily lives, but the mechanics of a board game totally throw them.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, would probably be my answer. Simply because he's extremely intelligent.
Yes.
He's very well spoken.
Very charismatic too. He'd be fun.
He's super charismatic. Yeah. I think that would just be so enjoyable, and I hope that somebody, if anyone's listening, gets him onto some sort of a board game show, just so I can watch him experiencing a game.
I think he could enjoy the hobby.
He must play games.
That's a great answer. By the way, I'm jealous.
You can just say you do that too.
I would join you for that game.
Oh yeah, you're invited.
Okay, maybe I could teach it. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. I think that was a great one. Is there a particular game? One of those heavier games, though. I think
it'd be fun to get him in on a space game, like Alien Frontiers or Twilight Imperium.
I think it'd be fun to get some what we consider traditionally very serious people, like maybe Napoleon, Sun Tzu,
Sun Tzu,
and play a party game. You thought maybe I was going to say Risk or like a war game or something, and play a party game.
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, it's just anything like ridiculous. Telestrations, just something goofy.
Michelangelo, you should include him if you're doing telestrations.
Oh yeah, that'd be unfair, wouldn't it? Michelangelo, come on, this is like a party game. You gotta be quick. He'd be there. No, just a few more minutes.
We have some people like that aren't even artists, and they're doing that. They're kind of sculpting out a masterpiece on every page.
All right. Let's see here. What else?
Sushi Go is not technically about cooking.
Yes, and we know that.
But I mean, I like to imagine I'm cooking in my mind while I'm playing it.
Safranito, for example. Oh, that's what someone just said, Todd here. Safranito. That's about making spice blends. Again, not really cooking.
Almost cooking, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Rizar, 1982, asks, is Watch It Played Con happening someday? I hope so. I'd like to. We have a small board game cafe opening up called Small Print.
Right.
And my hope is that if they can have some success, I'd love to partner with them to create some kind of convention. Just to have someone to share that responsibility with. Tom has it easy. They have Dice Tower Con. I say he has it easy. I just mean there are people already running a con there. He just kind of got sucked into that. He just shows up. He does a lot of things there for them, but they take care of all the managing and the running of it, right? So having someone who can help with that part would certainly make running a con much easier, because that would be my concern, all the administrative stuff.
Yeah.
Dog Welder, again, asking those ambitious how to play I've done. I would say it's somewhere between Stronghold 2nd Edition. That was the hardest one to do. The Gallerist is certainly one of the most ambitious, just in terms of the complexity of the rules, but one I greatly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are checking out the gameplay videos for the Gallerist. If you haven't, because you thought, the Gallerist looks like one of these dry Euros, or maybe it just looks too complicated, join us for the gameplay, because we're having a lot of fun. We're being really goofy, and having some fun with the stories that are coming out of that. And hopefully it might even take away some of the complexity that you're finding in the game. Stefan Gets Wiki asks, how do you cope when one of your favorite games falls flat due to fluky luck, etc.? I really want my group to play Descent, but the first try didn't go well. Yeah, Descent's a good example. I think I've heard a lot of stories of that, where the Overlord maybe rolls over the players. So the adventurers just sit there and go, well, this is dumb. It's so overpowered that the Overlord can do all these things. And yet you talk to another game group and the Overlord's saying the exact same problem. The adventurers rolled over me and they're too powerful, blah, blah, blah.
It's really hard when you are the one who loves the game and the other people are new to it. And they're just like, oh, this game's awful. And it's like, what? Why? It's like, explain to me what you don't like. Maybe I can fix it.
Right. And you often can't. And it's hurtful because obviously you're sharing the game because you want them to be enthusiastic, because hopefully then they'll play with you again later.
Yeah.
And that feeling of defeat when you realize this is not working. They're hating this. And now what? It's like when you share a joke with somebody on the internet, like an internet joke video, and you just thought it was hilarious. And
everyone's like,
what is
why is that funny?
Just dead silence. It's the worst. So I don't know how you cope. You cope with it by, I guess, trying to be a good sport about it and recognizing you've probably been in the same position where someone else was enthusiastic about a game and it wasn't working for you. And that just happens. We can't all like the same things. That's part of the reason why I don't review here, and I try to stick to that because I know my tastes are not going to be what other people are going to enjoy.
That kind of very loosely leads into another question.
Well then, let's do it.
When learning a game in anticipation of Raymond Fox asks, when learning a game in anticipation of teaching others, would you recommend playing a 4-player game and controlling all players, or using the 1-player variant and playing solo?
Yeah, this is connected in the sense that it's connected not at all with the last topic. I'm just joking. I would prefer to play as all 4 players than to play the solo variant, only because usually the solo variant is enough different.
Yeah.
The Gallows is a good example of where the solo variant is not enough. Like, I think if you played the solo version of that, you could play the version against somebody else and you'd be fine. Yeah,
I think if 4 people each played the solo and then played with each other, they'd have a complete grasp.
Because what you do on your turn is the same as what you would do in the full game. Yeah. It's just you have a dummy player who does something, and it's even somewhat predictable, so you can even kind of puzzle that out a little bit. So that's a game where I think you could play the solo and be fine, but most of the time I would advise playing as 2 characters, and then I can really see the dynamics of the interaction.
Yeah, I agree completely. We already made the joke. Yeah, we made the joke about how, like,
you'll do that.
I'd dress up differently, do different voices and thoughts. I do try to think differently no matter what, though.
Try to play a different strategy, right?
Yeah, I make sure each player takes a different approach to the game.
I think that's great. Again, if you're trying to teach someone, then you can talk about some of the different strategies because you've explored them somewhat. All right. Every time I say your name, I'm sure I say it wrong. Zeneto Volkova asks, how are you hoping to expand the channel in the next few years? I like the Q&As and table talkbacks, but Rodney seems to spend a lot of time traveling. Is Pep going to keep producing while you're at cons? I don't know that I do a ton of time. Pep would say I travel all the time. Probably combined in the fact that I like to go on a vacation occasionally with my family too. There are some trips away.
You do a lot of times it's the weekend though, and that's something I don't take into consideration. Like you say, oh, I'm going away with the family, and then you're back on Monday.
Right.
And I don't really consider. I think about that as you going on vacation, but you're really not.
And when I go on vacation, I usually have a rule book with me. I'm scripting something. The show never really stops, which I don't mind because I certainly get a great deal of satisfaction out of it. I don't know how it will expand in the future. Pep is off work. He's doing a lot more help with the show, but he can't work for free indefinitely. And I
don't mind the idea of coming and working in your basement when you're not there, but it is your house, so it's a little weird.
I mean, what would be awesome is if we had the funds to build you your own sort of quasi studio here.
Yeah,
soundproof a little bit, and then you could, on a day, spend as much time as you need to or want to creating a video. That would really help create additional content. Cost, money, time, extra cameras, equipment. I guess it'll depend a lot on how our next fundraiser goes, because I'd love to be able to involve Pep more and to be able to compensate him for his time.
And ideally, I'd like to be coming to the cons with you anyway.
Yes, that's true too. That's right. And Pep will be coming to the Cool Mini or Not Expo.
Yeah.
He's also going to Gen Con, so for example.
And maybe BGG Con later in the year, maybe.
BGG Con, the Super Wolf, the main ways I want to expand the channel, though, is just to make sure we're putting as much content as possible. The instructionals, the gameplays, I mean, that's the bread and butter. Some people will comment and they'll go, man, you haven't done gameplays for a while. That's usually just the peaks and valleys, though, of scheduling and things like that. And we'll always come back to the gameplays. We'll always come back to the instructional videos, no matter what other things we're doing. And
we're definitely doing a lot more recently anyway.
Yeah, the gameplays. And again, that's because we have the time and we're able to do more of it.
Super Wolfkin got answered anyway.
Yes.
It is indeed board Pep. Like board, like a game.
Pedro Mescal Gernhus Bello asks, you're releasing videos for a Vital Lacerda game. Yes, the Gallerist. Have you tried other Vital Lacerda games? I haven't. This is my first exposure to his games, but I'm definitely much more interested in checking them out now. So Kanban is one. Vinhos is another. CO2, I believe, is another one as well. I haven't played any of those. All right. Let's have a little coconut time here.
Oh, yeah, well, we can do a rematch.
Who again?
This game's fast.
We're one coconut short. I doubt that it will end with us running out of coconuts, though, so we're probably fine. Oh, we're 1 for 1. I missed. You
Me
missed.
too.
There it is.
I'm more of a fog myself.
Ooh. Oh, you just got your own.
That's fine. You keep the coconut in there. It does help for tiebreakers.
Yeah, I wonder how this is for the microphone. Hopefully it's not too dreadfully annoying for people. Oh, look at this. I'm having a much better go of it than I did the last time.
Oh, that was
All
a
right.
shot.
Oh, you stole one of mine, you filthy animal. Oh, I get to go again because I captured a red cup. So let's see if I can grab. So close to taking one of Pep's. At this point, I just want to take your cups. Sorry. We are running low on the coconuts here, but I think it's because they're on the floor. Technically, one's on the floor. We should be grabbing.
We should.
Rats.
I just need one
I
more.
really want to get. I know. You've got. So I need my.
There's one over here.
Okay. So there's a chance.
You have to take one of mine.
Oh, it almost
So
bounced
close.
in. Didn't happen. So Pep is 2 for 2. That's the last one of that game. All right. So let's go back here to some of the questions here. We'll run through.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about?
In general wise?
Yeah. There was one more thing, and it's a lead into a question anyway, so let's just go with it.
Okay, sure.
Alex M. asks, everyone can get hungry while playing a game. I'm actually starving right
I
now.
am too. My stomach's growling.
How do you deal with eating and drinking at the table, especially when people are very intent on keeping games in mint condition? Do you stop gaming and take a break for everyone to eat, or do you just eat at the table? Does it depend on the game being played? Do you forbid any type of drinks or containers that aren't reclosable,
Right.
etc.?
It's all about that first part that you qualified. It's about whether or not the person is trying to keep it in mint condition. If they aren't, then go at it and have some fun. I used to be much more concerned about that. I still am. I'm still hyper concerned about it if it's for a game like 51st State that I haven't done a video for them about
Yes.
to. That will put me in a total panic. I get nervous. I don't bend the cards. Don't get that drink around there. I get, because if something happens to it, that's like probably the only copy I'm going to get, for some time, because usually I get them in advance. So anyway. In that case, I am, but now I'm not as much as I used to be.
I think for me, the only thing that matters is if things are a little bit messy.
Mm-hmm. Like chicken wings, you mean, or something like that?
Like chicken wings, or if there happens to be a promotional burger love event going on.
So this is something that goes on the island here, Prince Edward Island, called Burger Love, and restaurants are encouraged to come with all their own wacky kinds of burgers. And then people can go around, they can sample and try them, and of course this company will promote them like crazy. So it's kind of a nice little collaboration. And you'll have burgers. I'm trying to find the one here. There's waffles for the buns, stacked with onion rings inside of them, and
some of them are so messy.
Like a hot dog jammed into the burger. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, some of them are so messy.
Sauces for days.
Oh yeah, and you're eating it, and there's just sauce dripping down your hands.
That's no good.
And no.
Right. That's no good. Take a break. In that case, yes, take a 30-minute break, go enjoy some food, and then come back to the table.
Yeah, but if people want chips or popcorn, candy, whatever.
The only other time might be if it's a game where marking the cards would have a very detrimental effect on it, like hidden roll cards, things like that. Then in that case, you probably have to sleeve, or you have to tell people to take a break on the food there.
It's actually funny, the idea of sleeves. Sometimes it makes it worse.
John Gallant asks, sleeves or no sleeves? Just to segue into that as well. Yeah, I say no sleeves for most things, unless it's a game that requires a lot of shuffling. Then I prefer to shuffle with sleeves.
Yeah, if I was playing a constant card game, Magic, Netrunner, something like that, I would want
deck
sleeves.
Builders. Oftentimes I will.
Star Realms. Star Realms is, I think, the only non-Magic game that I've ever sleeved.
Right.
And it's just because I play it a lot.
Yeah. And the cards do wear down. Before you sleeve, and your cards are looking kind of beat up.
Yeah. Honestly. And once I mix expansions in, suddenly it's, I know what's coming up.
Yeah. Robert Stash, no, I've not looked into the new Catacombs coming out, but I'm aware of the game. I've never played that one. I don't mind answering this question about favorites. It is Eric Robinson asks, "What are each of your favorite computer games if you have one?"
Oh. It's hard for me to nail it down to one. Definitely Guild Wars 2, though, for me. Guild Wars 2 is what I play the most of. But I also like, Minecraft. And Stardew Valley, of course, just came out, and I'm playing it like crazy. And everyone should. You should go and buy it off Steam right now. $14.99.
I bought it, and I haven't started playing it. I'm worried that I will. I only bought it because this guy's obsessed with it, and I thought, I'll just, why not?
I know a couple people who are playing it, and it's fun talking to them about it.
I haven't been able to find the time yet, but I will. I will eventually dive into it. It looked neat. I'm enjoying Rainbow Six Siege quite a bit. I prefer co-op because I'm not really a good Twitch gamer, so I'm not going to be as good as the guys who dedicate their lives to just shooting things first-person wise.
I need to play a shooter with you. I used to play them quite a bit.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to do. It's a good, great co-op one. I know I've played a lot of games. Like I can think back to when I was a kid, the games I loved. Loved game Mule. Impossible Mission. Spent hours playing that game. That was one of those games where you couldn't beat it except all in one sitting. So it'd like take 2 or 3 hours just not losing and playing. That was a lot of fun.
Old games makes me think of Star Empires 3. It's probably free if you want to go look it up. It's very much like a Twilight Imperium, kind of like taking over the galaxy and researching tech and building your ships, and it's a cool game.
I've been playing a bit of the new, like the revamped Gauntlet, which is new, but it's old now. But it was redone maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that's been kind of fun.
Oh, Diablo 2.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Not 3?
I never really played 3, but Diablo 2, I used to play that quite a bit.
Hayden asks, what is the most emotional you've ever gotten in a board game, and how does it compare to other kinds of games?
See a different question. I got distracted.
Do you have a answer to that? The most emotional? Like, there's the good emotion, there's bad emotion. Like when we solved the Time Stories, the first one I played, that was pretty exciting. I've had games like that where you win and it's pretty thrilling when you figure something out.
I can get really excited over party games, definitely.
Yeah.
And I can get excited, like emotional both ways. I can get emotional happy, and I can get very frustrated with party games too. And like it's very clear that one player, like almost like they have it in for me in a party game, which is really. Like I remember we were playing that one game, the meta game, and I don't know why, but it just felt like you had this thing in for me, and like it was and it was sucking my fun out of the game.
I don't remember that.
I got over it by the end, but. It's because every time, it felt like every time I put a card in, you were the person who would be like, I'm going to oppose you. And then like, you had like what I thought were the worst arguments.
Was that the one with the arguments?
Yeah, the argument.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just trying to have fun.
I know, but it was like, it was sucking me out of it. Eventually I got back in, but And I think anytime there's roles like werewolf or what's that one that isn't werewolf? Resistance. Yeah. You can always get into really emotional. Like I always remember that one time when somebody cheated.
That was my worst.
Yeah, and you were legitimately mad. Oh yeah. I could see the anger in your eyes. You were just.
I lost my mind. I went crazy.
It's like I know that you're good and I know that you're bad, but something's not right here.
Because somebody cheated at the table and it. Okay. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
It's hard with, thinky Euro games. I find it's really hard. I do enjoy them. I remember we had a conversation about this. I have fun playing them.
Yeah.
But you don't come out of it with that same that was so much fun. Like you're not excited and you're not.
It's a different kind of energy.
Yeah, it's a different energy.
And I think I think there are people who do get that kind of weird excitement.
Yeah.
Like they love it, and it just. But for me, it's like it's a bit of hard work, but I like that work. Like I like the work, but it's not the same as like at the end. Woo! Like I just defeated the boss at the end of this dungeon. It's not the same thing as that. Let's see here. Adam Feld says, I feel like doing live plays of games would help you get through more games. That would certainly cut down the editing time. Yes, but.
Yeah, I remember talking about maybe when people finally run out of questions to ask live, every once in a while, like every second live show could be a live game.
Could be a live game.
And we try to do stuff like this.
Just for fun. This is light stuff. You're right. It would allow me to do more games because it's faster, it's quicker paced. But unfortunately, the audio quality is not going to be as good. So there are some technical difficulties there. I'm going to say this, and it's not meant to sound... I want the video content to be a certain level of quality, you lose some of that when you do a live play. You just do, because you can't be changing the camera angles. suddenly I'm like holding the card up to show you what it is, and I'm bringing it down, or I'm having to move.
Yeah,
the
and that's
camera
something
around
you never normally do.
No, people. I mean, obviously there are people who create content around that, and it's just fun, and I watch it, and I don't have a problem with it. It's sort of like me personally. It's kind of like there's certain clothes I wouldn't wear, but if someone else is wearing them, I don't go, well, that looks ridiculous.
What'd you point at me?
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not my taste, but it's fine if it's somebody else. So
yeah.
But I don't mind the live games. I will do more of them. We've done them in the past. But it has to be the right game, and there is still a certain amount of preparation and work that goes into those beforehand.
I think it might be semi-important, too, about the company in the background, too. Like, some companies might not appreciate as much a live game play as they would a different kind of game
Yeah,
play.
Perhaps. I mean, the live play, the gameplay stuff, we're not compensated for that. That's our own choice, and so I kind of feel like they're getting free advertising there. But on a personal level, I don't want to necessarily present their game in a haphazard way.
Yeah.
So there's that part that's factoring in. Jark Kith, Rodney, is there a way we can trick you into revealing your opinion on a game? If so, what is that way? No, not really. I'm pretty much a robot when it comes to those things. Kemet, I will. Yeah, Pep knows the games I like and don't like. It's a cat's in the bag on Kemet. I like Kemet. One thing you can do, I suppose, is if you see me tweeting about a game, if it's the first time I'm playing it, then you can't take much out of that, because maybe I'm just trying to learn it. But if I've tweeted about it more than once or twice, it means I'm continuing to play it. And with my limited time, that's rare. So
I'll only give one example of that, because they can do their own research. But Ashes, for example, you were tweeting about that like every second tweet you had for a while was about Ashes.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you're going to the Ashes for the release. So that's an example where you maybe could figure that out.
Like if I had invited me to go to this Ashes event and my heart wasn't in Ashes, I would just tell them, don't waste your money. I'm not the right pick. Pick somebody else.
Yeah.
So those are little things you can certainly read into. Joe Caldwell asks, why do you hate the Dice Tower? Live chats at the same time. Is he doing his live chat at the same time? That was, I didn't know. Tom, we do our...
Tom, if you're watching.
Yes, Tom. We do our live shows typically on Tuesday, and we bounce between morning and evening. So, Tom, just keep that in mind.
I'm curious if anyone is watching both, like they have two screens up.
Tom, I love you, buddy. And I'm going to be seeing Tom in May. We're going up there, and I'm going to be joining him for a live show, which I'm really looking forward to.
Is he not going to be there for the Cool Mini?
Oh, he'll be at Cool Mini or not as well. That's right. Yeah, awesome. Preek says, Rodney, do you ever swear? Yes, like a sailor sometimes. I can see Pep doing it, but for you, it would be sort of character.
I'm a little offended by that. It's like, what do you mean you can see me doing it? I think we're probably about equal.
Maybe because you...
Maybe I just seem more laid back. So
yeah. I tend to have to sort of steer the boat type of thing. I have to be a little more that way. And it's fun for me to have Pep here because Pep doesn't have to worry about that, because I can kind of help take care of that part, right? So
I don't.
You can cut loose a little
You
more.
will probably never catch me swearing on camera unless Rodney puts one of the bloopers in, which he won't. But I don't generally swear. I would use it only for humor.
Even in general.
Even in general, I don't really swear. It's more of a humor thing.
I was raised in an environment where I never heard my parents curse except maybe once.
Yeah.
Or twice that I can remember in very extreme circumstances. So it was never really part of my vernacular, whereas I have friends who like every second word is F this, F that. It doesn't bother me. I find an overuse of it is just, I can't help but feel like this is not an efficient way of using words to communicate. Like we're wasting a lot of words here.
And it definitely depends on the people you're with. You know, if I'm with a bunch of guys who are hanging out cursing all the time, I'll probably switch into that vocabulary.
Yes.
But just in general, it's something I usually would reserve for something that's very funny where, you just can't do it without that extra emphasis.
But I don't have any problem with some colorful language.
Yeah.
And I'll employ it from time to time. Barry Reynolds. Hey, Rodney, doing this for a while, I noticed you get impatient with bad rule books. How do you feel about bad rule books? Well, Barry, one thing I hate is when rule books repeat things. No, I don't care for bad rule books because I think the more I do it, the more I realize this is just somebody skipping a step along the way. Typically, it's the blind playtesting part that's being forgotten, and it annoys me that is skipped. But on the other hand, thank you for having bad rule books, because then it provides even more value to the video content that we create.
Those aren't coconuts. Could you imagine playing this game with real coconuts? Like you have like a little miniature catapult and you're throwing actual coconuts into baskets.
That would be amazing. Skull Hunter, hey Rodney, when you're playing a game against people, do you compete at all? If you do, can you give some examples? Well, Not sure what you mean. Like, when I play a game, I try to win. I don't always succeed, but I definitely always try because I feel like it's the spirit of the game. I might pull my punch on occasion if I feel like it can make the difference between the person enjoying the game or not.
Maybe the question is just kind of trying to ask too, like, do you play it, with a competitive spirit in mind? Like when we play Coconuts, are you trying to have fun or are you trying to beat me? Like, what is?
Well, I definitely want to beat you.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely having.
You can't beat me. I am the Gen Con Family Fun Champion.
He is. You have the plaque, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. We won't show. He does have a plaque for it. He beat a 6-year-old, I think.
Yeah, I had to beat a lot of small children for that title. Listen, I was invited. I sat there playing the game so long, and then I was invited by the person running it to come do the tournament, like to come play in it, and I just assumed that there were going to be all kinds of people there. Nope. 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds.
We got about 9 minutes left because we're going to be at the 90-minute mark. I definitely don't want this to go over that, so we're shutting this thing down in 9 minutes.
Faster!
Which means I might skip to the end of this thing.
Speaking of the end, the last question from the BGG questions, or just whatever these were.
Yes.
Vincent Vignola wants to know, do you have expectations for Gen Con? What about a to-do list?
No.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
I don't have expectations. Gen Con is my most favorite and least favorite convention.
So busy.
Yeah,
everything's happening.
I've said that a million times, but I'll say it again. It's a gong show.
Yeah.
But it is one of the most impressive displays of our hobby.
Yeah.
And it's a big expression of the hobby to the rest of the world. So for those two things, I think it's fantastic.
I feel like if you're going to Gen Con and you did everything that you could possibly want to do, you're not trying hard enough to find things.
Right.
Because I find you're there and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And you get distracted by something and suddenly it's 6 hours later.
Yeah.
And it's you might plan 20 events and do 12 of them,
I love the interaction with people who have been viewers of the show and want to come up and say hi and talk. I enjoy those little pockets of what are you enjoying at the show?
Yeah.
What's going on? Because you really are in a sea of strangers. And so then suddenly for a second you're talking with someone. It's like, oh, no, I'm not like in this crazy place where I don't know anyone. Like here's someone that we have a shared interest and we can talk about something. That's always fun.
And sometimes it's nice to just stop and take a break and talk about, process what you just experienced.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I actually just saw this really cool thing and I wasn't thinking about it until you mentioned it, but I want to go back and buy that
you can
now.
share that with somebody. It's always fun having someone share with you something they got excited about because then it's like, oh, maybe I'll go check that out.
Yeah.
But I don't do as much planning in anticipation of Gen Con because my plans always go to pot. Not the drug, just the expression. So let's see here. When Andrea is off for the summer, this is from Volkova, will we see 3-player games again? Well, she's off for the summer, but she's actually going to be working all summer. And she won't be back home. So, no, not with Andrea. But with Luke off, maybe we'll have some 3-player games with him.
Get Christy in there for one.
Or even Christy, yeah. Zayman asks, I'm really interested in certain games, Quadropolis Between Two Cities, but haven't played them because the theme of city building bores me to death. Are there any themes that don't excite you? Yes, I'm sure there are. I'm trying to think. Typically, Pep, I'll just jump in here with a quick answer. It's going to be the artwork of the theme that's going to not excite me. So if the game looks meh, that's what's going to make me go, there's games about tea. There's games about knitting. There's games about adventuring. There's games about space exploration. All kinds of different themes. And I wouldn't say any of them offhand I go, I'm not interested in. Unless it was something wildly offensive, I guess that might. But otherwise, no. A food chain magnet, for example, has the look of that makes me go, I have no interest. Unfortunately, there's been so much interesting buzz around it. Now I'm intensely interested.
I was super interested the second I saw it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a weird question to ask too.
Yeah, you're weird for asking that question.
No, but I mean, because, or it's weird to answer it because
it's a good
really when someone wants to know if there's anything I wouldn't play, a lot of the things I would think I wouldn't play, I'm weirdly excited about. Like farming. I have no interest in farming, but anytime a game comes about farming, suddenly I'm like, hold on, I can't wait to try this.
Yeah.
That food chain magnet, I'm like, running a store? Yeah, that's awesome.
Themes don't tend to drive me away.
The only theme I think I wouldn't like, if you're some sort of soldiers in Egypt, like fighting over obelisks, I don't like that.
How dare you?
I can't think of any
shut
theme.
This down.
Zombies only because, like a lot of people, I kind of get tired of it,
Right.
but when I try zombie games, I'll usually like them anyway.
Again, like as long as the mechanisms are good, I'm not as concerned about it. It's just Anyway, but I think definitely the theme, the visuals of the theme are what will drive me away.
Yeah, nothing drives.
Like when I see a war game and there's like a million little tiny chits, or if I open a rule book and there's a million tables, I go, this is not going to be something I'm probably going to enjoy playing. Could be wrong, but it's going to drive me away. Who is your biggest board game nemesis? Asks Barry Reynolds. I don't think I have one, honestly. I don't think there's anyone in the board game industry that I have bid out for, and anyone that I don't particularly care for in the board game industry, I just avoid.
I was reading it more as like when you're playing board games.
Oh.
Like, do you have a nemesis in board games?
No, I like beating Pep because he wins a lot. So anytime I beat Pep, I feel like I've accomplished something.
I guess I can kind of feel the same way with you as like the nemesis.
Yeah.
There are a couple people that I think that I usually feel like they're out to get me.
Yeah.
I won't say their names, but I do have someone I think that's usually out to get me. So if we ever play like a 3-player game, for example, I know I have to go for them first because they're just going to gun for me first.
That's a different, definitely. Like my nemesis towards you is more like I enjoy beating you because I've accomplished something because you're good at playing games. But there are people who I would enjoy beating because they're obnoxious. And so I just want to beat them to beat them, keep them from going, I won that game and I'm always good at winning games. Like people like that I just want to beat because of their attitude or whatever. Karma asks, do we look at what other rules videos have done when making or selecting the games that we do? Yes and no. I don't look at them like as a way of preparing for how I'm going to do my videos because I'm going to start at square one with the rule book. But sometimes if a publisher might be interested in us featuring a game, I might look at what someone else has done to get a sense of the game and see, would this be one I would like to do? So that could be a nice way of doing some research.
Yeah, I agree.
Am I going to do any top 10s with the Dice Tower like Rod did during his visit? Asks Mike Van de Castelli. Yep, I would do it. If someone wants to get me to do a top 10, that would be the time to make me do it because I don't, on my own channel, in my own content, I avoid all that stuff. But when I'm a guest on a podcast, I will talk about favorite games, I'll answer questions, etc.
Time for Pep to make a podcast.
I'll do that, and I'll usually do a caveat saying, it's your channel, it's your rules, so if you're going to ask me, I'm not going to see like a bump on the log because that's terrible video content. So yes, I'll answer your questions in that case.
I like the next one. Jenks Planetarium.
Yes.
Oh, whoops, I skipped. Sorry, it's Horst Dirt II. Pep, how do you remember the names that you come up with during the gameplay videos, like above and below?
Sometimes
we don't.
Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we make a little note. Sometimes we'll have to go back and watch the video and say, what do we call that character? Yeah. We're doing it again with the gallerist. Thankfully, we're keeping it to a minimum number of character names.
A lot of times when I pick a name, I pick something that means something to me.
Yeah.
So I will never forget. Like Gendrick, I will never forget Gendrick.
Yeah.
I like to do that. Sometimes it's just the first name that comes to mind, though.
Sometimes I'll let out an exasperated sigh when Pep will name the second character because of like, okay, we're doing this, are we? We're going to be naming all the characters again, are we, Pep? Because I'm thinking, how are we going to remember all this? Just, in the comments here, and thank you guys for all the fantastic comments here. We're at the point now where Todd says, thanks, because his daughter has a huge smile on her face from when we said hello. That was like half an hour ago. There's still a ton of comments here we haven't even gotten to. But we are going to end this. 2 minutes to go. We're going to wind this down. Sorry about that. Again, if you'd like to get some questions in that we didn't answer, 2 or 3 days before the live show, I'll put up a thread in our Watch It Played Guild that says, here's the next live show. Here's when it's going to be. Here's a link to it. What questions would you like to ask? And I'll try to put them in advance. We did actually, I think, end up going through most, if not all of these.
I think there's only one.
Maybe one or two. So that's a way to get your questions in.
Maybe just skip right to the end and just answer a couple of the end questions now.
Right. Skipping to the end. Whoa, this list is going really far.
There's a lot of them.
Hello in India. Hello,
Hi,
Deepak.
India.
And good day in Australia, too, Bolt Beam.
There wasn't very many questions.
Todd asks, Rodney, are you concerned that Jamie Kegi will soon be starting to do video content? I think his intention is to challenge Watch It Played. Well, Jamie is a competitive guy, I think, in that regard, in terms that he sets a bar for himself and then he works to accomplish it, and then he sets a bar and he works to accomplish it. So I wouldn't be surprised if on some level he might look at our subscription count or whatever and then go, okay, well, what do I need to achieve to grow? But I don't think of it as a rivalry. Jamie and I are great friends, and when he was working and talking about video content, he sent me early test footage, and I offered some advice and some suggestions, and he's doing fantastic stuff. He should have already been releasing video content because what he's creating, I think, is some of the best review video content you're going to see out there. So keep an eye out for it. But if anything, I'm going to be trying to find ways to complement what he's doing and point people in his direction, because we're friends. That's what we're friends for. It's one of the nicest things we can do with this channel is I can use it every now and then to plug things I'm excited about. And so anything he's doing.
Yeah, I really enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Great. You just listened to a couple episodes recently. You're not really a big board game podcast guy.
Not usually, but yeah, it was very good.
Yeah. So you can expect some really good content. The reason Jamie hasn't done it is because as good as this content was, he wants to make it better. And so he's in the middle of like setting up a shooting studio in his basement and painting and caulking and doing all kinds of like handyman stuff that I'm not capable of. So let's see. I think that's probably it. Yes, we're at 90 minutes. So we're going to end things here. As always, thank you everyone for your comments, the questions. It makes the time just fly by. I always start these things going, Pepper, we're going to have enough things to fill in the time.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do.
And we always do, because you guys come here and make it possible to keep answering and talking about things that are hopefully fun and engaging in something that you're enjoying. Keep an eye out for Watch It Played. 51st State. Pep and I are actually going to stop right now. I think we're going to try to, let's play a game of this now. All right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you might see some pictures on Twitter. Again, on Periscope. Subscribe to me on Twitter if you'd like. I'm going to be putting Periscope videos up of the Tulsa event, where we're going to be looking at Ash's stuff and maybe other game stuff that Plaid Hat brings with them, and certainly some Team Covenant things as well. Keep an eye out for. So
we need to eat before we play 51st.
I'm starving. Yeah. All right. Until the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hey, you did it too fast.
Sorry, let's try again. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And until the next. Oh, sorry. 3, 2, 1. And until the next.
Sorry. Okay, one more time.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. But until the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Little blooper action.
Yeah, there you go. A little blooper action.
Oh, we got